Hey guys, this is Jay-Sensei here again. It's going to be with Invincible Waking Towers Early, Part 4. I just dropped Part 3, so go watch that. Watch Part 1, 2, and 3. You guys don't know some things here because there's a new character, and Mark in this one is rich. In a different way. So there's a few things if you guys don't know about. There's a lot of context that needs to be had. So go watch those 3 parts. They're not an hour long, they're probably about 15 to 30 minutes, around that length. So if we got a good hour to spare, watch those. Now, let's left off with part 3 with Mark handling the Flaxen invasion. Now, a few days later, Nolan, aka Omni-Man, finally wakes up in GTA Hospital. Now, Mark was right there, thinking about his dad in his hospital bed, watching as Nolan's eyes slowly adjusted to the light. With everything that had happened. Guardian's death, the funeral, the aftermath, still over Mark. But at least a little bit of pressure was now relieved now that his dad was awake. Before they can even talk, though, GTA alarm blared. Incoming object detected. Mark gets a call on his phone. Anthony Cecil, and the voice will come through, and it says, "Hey kid, you hearing this? We got something big coming from space." Nolan heard it and just said, it's probably that one-eyed guy, right?" Mark says, "Oh yeah, Alan. I'm gonna go buy some food real quick." And he blasts off. In this universe, Nolan fought Alan still, but when it was the first fight, Mark showed up mid-fight and took over. Since at this point, Mark was around 14. He's been a hero for 2 years, and he's a pretty rather solid character in terms of just strength and power overall. Like as strong as that Mark was, as strong as like this 14-year-old Mark was, he's about equal to Alan. But now Mark is 17, and from the power, he's like about as strong as a fodder Viltrumite. Not like Lucan, who, while he's fodder, he's still a proud warrior. Talking about that one, like random, like, just... Pretty sure there was, like, more than, like, there was Thula, Lucan, and then that one random fodder with them. Mark is probably about as strong as that guy. He's not a proud warrior, but he is still a Viltrumite. So Mark's probably about as strong as that. Right? Like, slightly subpar Viltrumite is how strong Mark is. So he's still the Viltrumite level, just subpar. So yeah, he can do damage to Nolan, but he's not going to win a fight. So, yeah. So, now because of this, when Mark was 14, Alan would ask about, Earth, or Urath. Mark says Earth. Alan's confused, shows it off his tablet. It says, URATH. Mark spells out Earth for Alan. He's going to the wrong place. And before he leaves, he tells Mark he's pretty cool, so he'll stop by on his way back, just, hang out with Mark. So now, every 3 years, which only been 3 years, once so far, Alan stops by Earth on his way back from Urath. Mark and Alan had a genuine friendship. There's one thing Mark had never told him, but Alan never asked, and that Mark was a Viltrumite. Alan, like most of the universe, saw, the Viltrumites as terrifying monsters, but to him, to Alan, Mark was just Mark, the ultimate best friend. And that was all that really mattered. So, yeah, plus Viltrumites, well, Nolan also didn't seem like a Viltrumite. Sure, he looked like one, but Viltrumites are seen as terrifying monsters. He's like a cool, caring dad. There's really nothing that he could have, assumed he was. He thought that Nolan and Mark were just really strong humans. Well, Mark is half really strong human. That's about it. But, yeah. Now, Mark breaks that atmosphere, heading straight for the moon. And then, with telepathy, Mark slows down and says, "Alan, what's up?" Alan nodded and said, "Yeah, did you bring snacks?" Mark says, "Yep." And he holds up 2 fast food bags. Well, huge ones. Food, drinks, all that. They sit down, start eating, and they end up catching up on what they've been up to. Now, back to the private funeral of the Guardians. So, Mark breaks through the atmosphere, heading straight to the object. Oh, I messed up. My bad. They're funeral of the Guardians. Yeah, I scrolled and then it shot back up for some reason. I'm so sorry. Her funeral for the Guardians was had at some point, but now this one is for the public. So the public funeral now of like press, magazines, all that. This is what that funeral is for. And Nolan gives speeches. As he's able to attend the funeral, actually. This is his first funeral, as he's still recovering, but no one knows he was the killer. So, the world listened in silence as Nolan, or Omni-Man, took the podium first. I don't know why, but it says Cecil's here. It says Cecil Omni-Man for some reason. Omni-Man took the podium first, and he says, "This is the hardest speech I've ever had to give. Because I shouldn't be giving it. They should still be here." Behind him, photos of the fallen were displayed on massive screens. War Woman, Red Rush, Darkwing, Martian Man, Green Ghost, Aquarius, the Immortal. Nolan just says, "These men and women gave their lives to protect this world. They fought in the shadows. They fought the darkest in the shadows, so that we didn't have to, and they bled so that we wouldn't have to. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten." So, yeah. Now, a few years later, Mark had just beaten a villain in Italy. He was in an okay mood. Stopped by, had some pizza, and he was flying back to Chicago. Well, the moment he arrived at his location, the Team base, the mood was off. Eve was upset, crying. Rex was on the floor in a beaten and bloody pulp. Not dead, but still being beaten up. Unfortunately, was on top of him, bashing his face in. Mark barely time to process before Ethan's voice rang out through the hideout, and he just yelled, "Rex is a bad friend, Rex is a bad teammate, Rex is a bad boyfriend. Rex should do a teammate duplicate and hurt Ethan's sister, Eve." Mark's jaw's on the floor. Even Rex had been there for a while now, but this, living with a teammate, Kate? Poor Rex, because, Ethan isn't going to let that slide. Rex tried to get to his feet, and holds his hand up, saying, alright, I get it, I screwed up. Ethan didn't care, jumped up, and landed a black handle right on Rex's head. Rex rolls off the floor, trying to throw explosive discs at Ethan, but all he does is turn his hand into pure tungsten, catch the discs, and then they blow up in his hand with no effect at all. And he just looks at Rex with a sadistic look in his eye, not even smiling, but just his eyes look scary, and says, "Ethan is not done yet." Rex charged another disc, and Ethan would swat it away like a toy. Rex swung. Ethan just liquefied his face. The punch went straight through him. But then he would grab Rex, knee him in the gut, and throw him to the ground. And Ethan proceeds to basically just bash Rex's face in until Mark ends up grabbing his fist and just say, "Alright, Ethan, enough. He's done." Rex gets on his feet. He wobbles away and says, "Fuck this," and runs as fast as he can. A few days later, Cecil decides to form the New Guardians and puts Robot, and Mark in charge of forming the New Guardians. Mark is going to handle, he's going to decide. Can they see the bigger picture? Can they read? Not can they read, but can they have a good spirit? Do they have a good presence? Do they have a good reputation? Do they know how to handle being in the public eye? And Mark's going to handle their combat potential, their breaking down fighting styles, and just overall of their power. So power and spirit. Mark handles spirit, Robot handles power. So Mark starts like this, saying, "Alright, this is the way. I am not joining your team. I am not your teammate. I am your PR manager. I'm one of the most internationally known heroes on the planet. It is my job to ensure the world trusts you. But more than that, I'm here to help train. I'm here because I learned from the best. I'm not letting everything they taught me die with them." Even pointed to Eve and Ethan to say, They trained with the Guardians as well. They were on their own team. Now they're trying out for this one. When Black Samson saying he was a former Guardian, now he's trying to come back. So he's basically saying, there's a few members of the people who know the Guardians, and they're coming back. So even if Mark can't teach them, the Guardian's teachings will not die. And then another first fight. It was Forger, aka Ethan Brandyworth, versus Burley, a husky, bearded, mechanical-looking guy with super strength and enhanced durability. He's the kind of guy who can take a hit and dish one out, and then buy you a beer afterwards. He seemed like a good-natured guy. This was not about being nice. It's if he can handle the power of being a Guardian. So with that, and we'll step into the little fighting area. Ethan would talk first, and Fortune versus Burley. Fortune acknowledges Burley's intimidating size, but Burley seems like a calm guy. Fortunately, Burley has to be crushed by Forger. Burley is cracking knuckles and says, "All right, Forger, I like you, but I'm going to hold back." And Forger just nods and says, "Forger will try not to kill Burley." And the match began. Burley charged forward like a stampeding rhino. But instead, Forger would jump up, right over him, and his body turns into a large ball. But then, he altered his density, his mass, all to 5 tons. And he dropped on Burley immediately. He then unrolled off of Burley immediately, and Burley was knocked out. He then sends his arm down to Burley's mouth. He throws up, but also wakes up. Ethan just sighs and laughs and says, Forger knows that Burley tried to fight back. Burley was unlucky. Forger tried to drop like a human anvil. Oh, that's a good idea. Forger thinks it would have been a good idea to turn into an anvil instead of a ball. Burley grinned weakly, took Ethan's hand, and got pulled up, and just says, "Oh, kid, at least you haven't been cocky about beating me." Next fight. Shrinking Ray versus Man Kong. Shrinking Ray won. Then fight 3. Duplicate versus Shrapnel. Duplicate won. Darkwing versus Knockout. Darkwing won. Fight number 5. Black Samson versus Throwbolt. Black Samson won. Fight 6. Adam Eve versus the Hunk. Adam Eve won, but she did not join. Fight 7. Rexplode versus Pangea. Rexplode wins. Then there was Bulletproof, who also did his own stuff, all that. Now, after we're wrapping up, Rex decided to run his mouth to another winner, Monster Girl. But big mistake. She snapped, and within seconds, she would transform. She monstrously towered over Rex and punched him right back into the fighting arena, would jump down, began wailing on Rex with absolutely no restraint. Margarita sighed, and before Monster Girl would flatten Rex, he would appear in front of her, catch her fist with 2 fingers, and then lock her. She just pulled back, and Mark simply just says, "Keep pulling, you're going to pull your arm off. I don't think you want that." He decides, refers back to her normal form, and Mark just asks her, "You good now?" She says, "Yeah, I'm good." He lets her go, and then kind of just tosses her back up to the observatory, where a robot catches her, puts her down. Rex comes on holding his chest and just says, "She broke a rib. I can feel it." Mark just sighs and says, "Yeah, you deserved it." He puts him under Rex, and then launches him up to a robot, who catches him again and puts him down. Pause. Now, Mark had no time for dating, but he was definitely getting around. As a famous hero, he was also kind of a playboy. So, on his quote-unquote list of female characters he has been with. Kate. Yes, Kate. Eve. You didn't go with Amber, but they've definitely been a little flirty. Then Aquaria. Aquarius' wife. But not for a reason of just being a dick. No. Anything tradition is literally just you make up for your mistake by marrying the queen or dying in combat. Mark just offered, how about a strong kid? And that worked. Well, Mark is 18, So yes, it is weird, it works. So that was a very odd thing for Mark, but it kind of got them off his back. Yeah, Mark is not happy about that at all. No one is, because now Mark is going to know for sure he's going to have a kid soon. But it gets him, it's not off punishment, but a different reason, the fact that Aquaria suspects it was Omni-Man because he's the only survivor. So, yeah. So, Mark is also just upset at that, but he couldn't really help that. And this list is not long. I'm honestly sure I'm going to read it in my script, and I can't. Mark did not get what you do with Ray, because he just met her literally probably not even an hour ago. And I think that's good. And I just remembered something, because I want to check this out. There was a villain in Invincible called the Nazi. Yeah. Alright, but back to this. So, Mark's, I guess, list would consist of Eve, Kate, Aquaria, Knockout, and Shrapnel, and Pangea. So, yeah, a few of the heroes he's met. We've met, but yeah, it was a weird thing. Like when it comes to the tryouts, Mark says, "Oh crap, my ex is here." Robert says, "Eve?" Mark's like, "No," and points out a few of the different girls in the crowd. And Robert calls him gross. Mark says, "I'm all over the world. I need to do something." And Robert calls him gross still. So yeah. Now, Mark and Eve were never official, but they're definitely getting closer more frequently. Now, Ethan hated it, and he had pretend it wasn't happening, because his best friend was in his sister's room most of the time he came over. And at some point, while Mark's at the Guardian's base, helping them get acquainted with it, Forge's yelling at him, saying, "Forge's not proof of this! Forge's pretending it's not happening! Forge is suffering!" Mark can just laugh and just say, "Relax, bro. Ethan will be fine." Which later says, "Ethan is not Mark's bro anymore. He will not be fine. Ethan is disgusted." Eve just laughs and says, "He'll get over it." And Ethan just says, "This is Ethan's biggest betrayal yet." But we're going to end this part here. But it's enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.